All right. So we are pretty much coming to the end of your training course. I know you guys are excited, but we have this section, accountability, and then we have path to profits. I hope you guys enjoyed that video that went over the achieve anything mindset. If you watched it, you already kind of got some information, some really good, hopefully some good nuggets on accountability. If you didn't, that's fine. We're going to touch bases real quickly. This is going to be a very short section on accountability. I do encourage you to watch that video that goes over, talks about accountability and also talks about mindset as well. So it talks about everything. It touches on everything. It's only about 8 minutes. So if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. I know I recorded it a while ago, but it still holds true to this day. It's only been like a year or two since I've recorded it. So accountability, let's jump in and just say, remember, let's jump in and remember that you need to learn how to manage yourself before you can manage anyone else. Okay. Remember, you are your toughest client to manage and you are your problem. And the good thing about looking at the problem, therein lies also your solution. So remember, you are responsible for yourself. If you watch the Achieve Anything Mindset video, we dived into this we touched on this real quickly, but I said exactly this. You're self-employed. You are for yourself now. No one else is responsible for you taking actions daily. You are the only one that's responsible for you. 1099 contractor. This is no longer a W-2 job, okay? So this is your career. This is your livelihood. So just keep that in mind. You are responsible for you. I need you to go ahead and set up some type of accountability partner for yourself. So select like an agent at your office or maybe like a family member or a friend that actually wants to see you win. They want to make sure that you actually hit your real estate goals. And they're not going to be light on you when you aren't performing. Please do not choose somebody just because you're like, oh, well, it's a family member, so I know they want to see me win. No, that's not always the case, unfortunately. I want you to be definitely strategic about who you choose as your accountability partner. It needs to be somebody that you know that even without you selecting them, they're asking you how your career is coming along. Typically, those people who actually care and that reach out to you and they're like, well, how are things coming along with real estate? Typically, that would be like a good accountability partner because they're asking you without you even bringing it up. So keep in mind that may not always be a family member. Be mindful of friends and maybe even another agent at your office or an associate that really, always kind of they check in and just wants to make sure you're okay. They probably are a good person to choose as your accountability partner because they should not let you slack. They should say, well, I know you said you want to do this. They're probably annoying in a sense because they're always on top of you about your goals. Like, didn't you say you want to sell this many houses? Why aren't you doing anything? That's a good accountability partner. And you can have more than one. Don't overwhelm yourself, but feel free if you need to get two, that's totally fine. I'm not saying only have one, but just make sure this person really truly wants to see you win. Okay. You also need to get like a mentor or a coach. I think mentors and coach are great. A mentor, if you listen to the podcast episode with Marlena McWilliams, the Queen of Scheduling episode, a mega agent, she had a mentor and she worked for them for free because she learned so much. It's like a on the job type of training. She did that because she knew like I need to get to X, Y, and Z in the shortest amount of time possible. Either it's going to take me a year or two or it could take me 6 months or 3 months. That's why she went ahead and got a mentor. And she knows that if she hired a coach, it's going to cost her. But instead, being that she didn't essentially didn't have the funding, she went the route of her time. So she invested her time instead of her money. Keep in mind, you're going to invest something, guys, when it comes to a coach or a mentor, either your time, essentially you're going to help them with activities. They may say, hey, I need you to do this, host the open house for me, do this or do that for me. Help me with, I don't know, with putting mailers together, something. They may ask you to help them with something because again, they're helping you learn the business faster than you would for free. They should be charging you. So you should be okay and happy with that mentor, right? In terms of investing your time. So you're investing your time. Now a coach is going to get you there just as fast, but it is going to cost you and they're going to charge you up front. They're not going to say, oh, do this for me, do that for me. Because again, they're investing their time and their knowledge as well. Both parties are investing their knowledge and allowing you to learn the business a lot faster than you will on your own, because you don't know what you don't know. And this industry, will kick your butt if you do not know certain things. And you also don't want to risk someone's largest asset just because you didn't want to invest your time or some money to ensure that they didn't essentially lose out on their assets. Keep in mind, you don't want to be in real estate jail. So you want to make sure you're doing things right. So you need to hire somebody or work for somebody that knows the business, inside out. They know it a lot, and they're going to keep you kind of in a place where you don't get yourself into real estate jail, fined, because again, it's going to cost you either route. You might get fined, you might get your license suspended. So be mindful that until you've done a good handful of transactions, you really don't really truly know the business. Even people that have done a handful of transactions still don't know a lot. From what I've seen and experienced, they still need help. So again, be mindful of that. Of course, don't get taken advantage of when I'm saying to find an agent, agent that's, busy, that knows what they're doing, to make an agent that needs help. I'm not saying let them take advantage of you in a sense of like, I'm not saying work for them for free for like an entire year type of situation, but I'm just saying, help them out with certain things and certain stuff, but be sure that you're still doing your activities as well. Make sure you're not helping them so much that it's interfering in you, growing your business. So you need to make sure that you're still prospecting and you're still doing certain activities to keep your business afloat, and that you're not putting all this energy and time and effort into running their business, and you're not getting paid for it, because that's not also good for you either, right? That's not going to help you grow. It's not going to help you get money in your pocket as well. So, but again, a mentor and a coach is great. There are some really good ones out there, and some of them do really want to see you win. So be mindful. We also offer coaching as well. Deals in 90 Days, we offer coaching as well. So feel free to reach out to me or email us, and we'll help you in terms of letting you know, hey, this is how much one-on-one coaching will be, or group coaching will be. Okay. You're responsible for yourself. So take accountability for your actions moving forward from here on out. So if you haven't already, start to do it now. If you're an experienced agent, let's be mindful of that blame game of like, oh, my broker or my team mate, they were supposed to help me, they didn't. Again, we're done with that. We're taking accountability, because that allows you to truly take control of your future and where you're going. You're responsible for yourself. So take accountability for your actions moving forward from here on out. You must do the work to see the results. Commit to the activities and do not be overly tied to the outcome, guys. Do the activity, the results will come, okay? And don't stop just because you get discouraged or somebody tells you no, okay? The biggest issue I usually find with like non-producing agents, or maybe agents that's not producing at a high level or at the level that they really want, is because they aren't truly invested in themselves 100%. They think that being self-employed, they're not willing to match like the same amount of hours, or the energy that they put into somebody else's business to help somebody else's pay somebody else's bills and their livelihood, and essentially their wealth. You have to be willing to do that for yourself. So if you worked 40 hours a week for another company or a job, hopefully, I would hope you'd be willing to put in the same amount of energy and effort towards your business and your career and essentially your company, right? That's what I'm hoping. So if you would even if you just put in half of that amount of energy, and also the confidence that we put in for other people's businesses, we would see some success, guys. And we probably see a higher level of success than we would in somebody else's company, somebody else's business. So I like to tell agents this, because I think we forget that, you don't just get your real estate license and say, hey, I'm a realtor, and then people come flocking. No, it requires work. And yes, it's high commissions, especially depending on what area you're in, but it's still a lot of work. So you got to do the work, guys. I feel like that's the biggest issue, is that most people just don't want to do the work. They want to pray for business, instead of actually saying, hey, I know I have to do some type of work, right? Think about your most recent, or your past income that you've had. And so you could choose from a job that you recently have, or if you were a full-time agent, full-time, if you worked someplace else before you became an agent. If you are a dual agent, you can kind of assess right now. So whatever job prior to real estate, income from another job outside of real estate. So your most recent full-time or your part-time income. How many hours did you work, right? And to this day, some agents are dual agents. So how many jobs are you currently working? And what does that income look like? And are you willing to put in those same amount of hours, if not more hours, to grow and run your own business? You're essentially your company, your real estate company. That's a question that you truly need to be asking yourself, if not more hours to run and grow your real estate business. If you're willing to do this, you will see success, okay? And be mindful. That's why you want to, if you're not seeing some certain success, uh, obviously, I know this is why you're taking this training course, but also be mindful that you need to do the tracking so you can figure out, and also a mentor or a coach can figure out, even your broker as well, if if you have a good relationship with them, they can figure out where you need more training around. So if you are an experienced agent and you're like, Monique, I'm hitting a ceiling, I'm not growing anymore, you need to be tracking and have a conversation and probably get some coaching around how you can get to the next level. You need more than likely more of a hands-on approach, probably weekly, or I'm not going to say day to day, but you probably need more of weekly touches on what you're doing and what's happening. And you need to be tracking it. So whoever jumps in does that coaching session with you, they can truly sit down and say, okay, this is where I'm seeing you're having issues right here. Okay. So you are going to have to take a little bit more accountability if you're an experienced realtor, and you're not hitting the results that you will like, and say, let me go ahead and hire me a coach, because you probably need that. You're probably at a point where you're not going to figure it out on your own, because if you were, you would have already. Okay. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for this section. So I'll see you guys in the next section. Path to profitability is the last section. Yay.